episode of Miscellaneous and Brown. It is I, Eric Esteban, your host, and I am rolling solo dolo because your boy Chris Mateo, he's on a Hawaiian trip with his wife, and I ain't trying to pull him away from paradise to talk about politics. But I had to hit you guys today. I mean, obviously, today of all days, I can't miss a Miscellaneous and Brown Monday on this most important and eventful Monday in our 2024 election. Yo, this is crazy. It really is crazy. But at the same time, when you think about it, it's the only way it could have gone down. Joe Biden had to step down. He had to make the choice. It had to always be Joe Biden. And for that, he will be applauded and remembered and revered for the rest of American history. So long as we beat this dude in November. Now, there's some of you out there who are probably, we don't have enough time. Well, in England and France, the progressive parties there just ran their election in like 2 days. You know, we all have the internet now. We don't need to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on network television that nobody's watching anymore. And, you know, now, that said, I'm ranting a little bit here at the beginning because, like I said, I don't have my co-host, so he's the one who always reins me in and guides me along our path. But I just have to say that I have never been more proud of my president than I have of Joe Biden. I mean, this was George Washington-esque, what he did in stepping down when he, for the better of his country. You want to talk about country first. You want to talk about party before country before party. Joe Biden is showing you how to do it. Amazing. He's been an incredible statesman and an incredible empathetic human being his entire political career, and I applaud him for what he's done. And in brilliant dark Brandon fashion, the way that he did it. Can you imagine that the Republicans, with that crazy Republican National Convention where they had Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt off and talking about what you gonna do, brother, when Trumpomania runs wild on you. That may have worked in like 1986, but it's 2024 and we have recordings of Hulk Hogan saying the N-word, and that's who the Republican National Convention decided to have as one of their keynote speakers. I ain't even going to start talking about Kid Rock. Oh my God. What a blasphemous ear assault on my ears. Ugh, garbage. I mean, you had that Republican National Convention and they showed their butt and then also picked the worst possible billionaire picked hedge fund J.D. Vance. And we've talked about J.D. Vance, and we're going to talk about J.D. Vance more as we go along. But the most right-wing Project 2025 writing VP candidate, and now you're trying to distance yourself from Project 2025 because you know how awful it is. Not that he read it. You know, he didn't read even page 1. Trump didn't even read page 1. But, okay, that Republican National Convention was horrible in my view. Now, if you're a Republican, maybe you enjoyed it, you know. And if you're a Republican, you were feeling sky high, ready to beat this old guy. Yeah, I can rhyme too, like Kendrick. But you thought you were going to beat Biden. But I think the key decision in him was the diagnosis of COVID. When he got COVID, it was almost like a sign for him to say, you need to finish out your term like you said you were going to do, because he said he was going to be a one-term president when he ran. He said he was only running to defeat Trump, and he did. Thank him for it. Thank him for saving us from the COVID pandemic. Thank him for revitalizing our economy better than any other global economy in the world after COVID. Thank you for all the things that you did for us. Thank you for vanishing one of my homies' college debt. I mean, I'm not gonna mention his name, so just in case, because I want to make sure that his balance stays at zero. But Joe Biden did that. There's so many things that Joe Biden did, and I'm so grateful and thankful for him. But I'm also thankful for the fact that he has passed the baton to the younger generation of progressive Democrats and Kamala Harris. I would say that I wanted to vote for her in the primary in 2020, and I would have. But I think that her candidacy was too early in 2020 because of the prosecutor. We need a prosecutor now. It was so close to the Black Lives Matter movement, and her being such a good prosecutor and so good at her job made them almost think of her as a cop. Some of my progressive friends and more left liberal leaning friends would say that was a bad thing. I would say someone who does their job well is someone who does their job well, whether that's a prosecutor, an attorney general, or a state senator, or now the vice president. She has done her job well at every facet of her career, and I am excited and happy that she is running for president. Now, this episode is going to be pretty quick, and because I'm still trying to take in everything that's happening, but I'm just going to be real and honest with you guys. I am so happy about how all the Democratic Party and the entire Democratic Party has coalesced in the last 24 hours, and Kamala Harris has raised over $81 million in less than 24 hours for her campaign run. She's got to win this one, guys. So I'm going to just reset and recoup with Phil Ams for Biden, because now we're going to be, I'm sure, Phil Ams for Kamala, or whatever we're going to rename, Phil Ams for Harris / I mean, we can go into who might she pick for VP. I would guess, if I'm just being politically minded, my top 3 choices would be Governor Shapiro in Pennsylvania, so that we can, because he's very popular in Pennsylvania, and hopefully he has a lieutenant governor that can take his place. But I believe it's Ben Shapiro in Pennsylvania, and then you have Wes Moore in Maryland, governor of Maryland. Gretchen Whitmer endorsed, but already said she doesn't want to be a VP. Y'all can have Gavin Newsom if you want him. He does some good things, but I live here in California, and y'all can have him if you want him for VP. That's what I will say, because give me Rob Bonta. Give me Rob Bonta as the governor of California, and I will be right here saying it over and over again until it's a reality. Give me Rob Bonta as California governor. Y'all can have Newsom. That said, all of them have endorsed Kamala, and so it really is going to be up to her. I'm not sure. I'm very interested, and I said this on my threads. You can follow me on threads at Eric Esteban Comedy. I said this on my threads. I said this makes the DNC the Democratic National Convention in my hometown of Chicago must see TV. Just must see TV. It's must see TV now. I mean, I think it is now apparent and awesome that in 24 hours the whole Democratic Party has coalesced and given again $81 million in 24 hours. And I just finished listening to Kamala's speech at the campaign headquarters in Maryland, and I'm fired up and ready to go. Just to kind of feel a little '08 energy in the house. I'm fired up and ready to go. I'm just gonna kind of figure out what Phil Ames for Biden wants to do and how we're gonna move forward. But I'm excited to be a part and be a small part of helping the Harris campaign get the word out, because she would not only be the first African American, she would be the first AAPI president. She's from a South Asian family. Her father's Jamaican, I believe, and her mother's East Indian. And I am so excited to have that type of miscellaneous brown representation in the Oval Office and running for the Oval Office. Like I said, I did want to support her in 2020. I ended up eventually, I got to be honest with everybody that I originally voted for Elizabeth Warren in the California primary in 2020 because I knew that Biden was going to win anyway, and I really love Elizabeth Warren. Shout out to Elizabeth Warren. I love her. And I hope that one day she can run for president because I love that lady. Maybe she'll only be a senator. Maybe she'd just be the head of the Senate. That'd be great too. But I voted for Elizabeth Warren when I had the choice. But it was, I think, a lot of it was. I live here in California, and a lot of the cannabis prosecutions and things on Kamala's attorney prosecutorial record. I don't want to say turned me off, but it made me push more towards Elizabeth Warren. Because let's be real, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, any one of them people would have been a much better president than Donald Trump. I chose any one of those people who was running, and I would have been happy with my choice. And I was happy to vote for Joe Biden in 2020 for the presidency. Now, this time, I believe that Kamala, if properly positioned and does this thing correctly, can take hold of local governments, state governments, and the three branches, well, the two branches, and then work on that third branch that is now broken, and that's the Supreme Court. That was the only thing to me in her opening speech, and I know that she'll get to it. I'm sure she'll get to it. She is a very, very smart, litigious person, and she understands that the Supreme Court is broken. So I'm waiting for her and her strategy on what she would want to do as president with this problematic, we'll say it like that just to be diplomatic, Supreme Court. But we've got 108 days, I think is what she said, 108 days. And I debated on whether to have an episode today because Chris couldn't be here and I couldn't get a guest. And then I looked and I watched some of these other content creators that I'm watching and listening to, and everybody's talking about this and everybody's sharing their opinion, and there was no way I wasn't gonna show my 2 cents or show my butt and tell you guys what I thought about it, because I have to say that, and if you listen to our debate reaction episode and prior episodes to this, I didn't think this was going to happen, because I knew that the choice was ultimately up to Joe Biden, and for him to make such a selfless choice, such a just such an incredible, but also I think smart, politically diplomatic move to step down. I don't know that I could have predicted that. I did not predict that. It was definitely a surprise to me when Chris texted me to tell me that he was stepping down. I did not think it was going to happen. It was something I was a little bit afraid of because he did look very frail in that debate against Trump. When you saw them side by side, it was a scary situation. But now you realize how good a leader Joe Biden is. I mean, he ultimately showed everybody with his decision that a good leader makes the good decisions for the whole country, not just for himself. And Joe Biden showed that he is a great leader. And I'm excited to honor his selflessness by doing everything in my power to get Kamala Harris elected to be the first African American, Asian American, and female American president elected in November. You gonna tell me if my two daughters, I'm gonna be able to see a female president? Y'all messed it up with Hillary. You ain't gonna mess it up with Kamala. The prosecutor versus the felon. Everybody, I am Erick Esteban, and I am so excited to talk about this election. I'm excited to hear Chris's opinions on this. I'm excited to interview more people on this. But as of right now, it's future and progress versus going back to the past. It's make America great again. Nah. It's move towards a brighter day. And I am very, very excited and very, very fired up. And we'll see what happens, man. I mean, it's going to be an exciting 100 days until Election Day. Until then, stay tuned right here every Monday. This was a short one because I'm solo dolo today. But stay right here at Miscellaneous and Brown for a Miscellaneous and Brown perspective on politics, pop culture, and everything that's going on in the world. I'm Erick Esteban. You can follow me at Erick Esteban Comedy. You can listen to my other podcast, The Canacuyas. Listen to on wherever you're listening to now. Here you can Google Canacuyas, where I advocate for cannabis related things, and we talk about cannabis related wonderfulness. But you can listen to The Canacuyas, where we cultivate conversations about cannabis. But you can also listen to previous episodes of Miscellaneous and Brown right here, wherever you're listening to your podcast. And please remember to write a review. Give us one of those 5-star ratings. Come on, y'all. Really, help us out. It'll help us break the algorithm. It'll get us into more ears, and on YouTube, more eyes when we're on our video. You can go to our YouTube channel, the 1-2 Productions, and you can see some of our interviews, some of our video interviews on that channel. But, hey, thank you for listening if you've listened this long. And we'll be back next Monday with another episode of Miscellaneous and Brown.
I don't think you want any problems, but you got one, here we go. You can see the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake, ayy. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake, ayy. It's summertime, starting up a heat wave, and now all weekend, hardly slept in 3 days. Whoever's driving the car's the DJ. When it's Q, y'all better pump that bass.
The dominance is obvious, I guillotine. Heads roll everywhere I go, I rep Philippines. Found my way, turn amaze to amazing. Infinite flows discovered in an ancient spaceship. I see things before they happen, visionary. Bury me inside a studio at the cemetery. My modus operandi not monetary. Noah Lazarus, the holy one out the monastery. So let me see your cue, plus the why, that's the crew. I'm a giant, how I grew, still connected to my roots. Rhymes, I kick it like Bruce, got me feeling like Zeus. Standing tall like Manu, to reach this level need a boost.
I don't think you're born any problems, but you got one, here we go. You can see the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake, ayy. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake, ayy.
Smoother than Brazilian wax, I interact. My life a cinematic reflection in the mirror max. With the pros, I'm proliferating. She said my syntax sounds so scintillating. Flavormatics on the beat, savory. Being scared, still doing it, that's bravery. Hunger turned us into savages. Ain't nobody give us nothing, had to do it alone, without a loan. Like Norfolk, Queens, Aquafina had the shell toe. Adidas used to hang with the drug dealers. Been doing this since cassette tapes in my Walkman, writing rhymes on the subway. Traditions I carry on, hip hop scholar, mastered in the street science. Raw diamonds, I refine 'em with the stars in alignment. Got the youth to the truth. On the tree of knowledge, squeeze forbidden fruit and made it juice.
I don't think you're born any problems, but you got one, here we go. You can see the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake, ayy. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake, ayy. I just wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night with you. I just wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night with you.